after that we will have a smart quiz, and that will be down at the theater room. You don't have it, don't have seen it yet, but.
Very 3 degrees field of view, and when our object in that field of view, then we get centered.
We're just going to look at some of the equipment, some of the pictures, and also some of the physics of light detection. Okay, it's not going to be very technical because this is
15 minutes. And of course, every story about the future has to start today, here and now. So let's start with energy today. How long do you need to be on the bike before you have produced as much energy as in the barrel of oil?
Probably like till I died.
Life cycling, well, no. Hopefully not. It works? It works. So, temperature hardened lab glass will contain a plasma of a couple thousand degrees. For, well, our record before our nose ran out is 30 seconds. The hum you hear, by the way, is the frequency of the microwaves. Some of the atoms don't align as much anymore. So you need to constantly change this. I'm looking for the sound of it taking off. Once the source one runs. Yeah, right. So this is really a poor man's fluorescent tube. Now, I have here one of the patent Acme Looney Tunes magnets. Idiotically heavy. And we'll just see if the plasma does something, if it reacts. Oh. Yeah. If you look a bit closer, you can actually see the field lines. Plasma are charged particles. They will stick to the magnetic field lines. Well, they'll gyrate around them, but it's something for another day.
So, do fusion. This is just to mimic conditions that there are in another part of ether.
So what you see, okay, is not the ions. Okay? What you see is excited gas.
Yeah,
so the ions, if you create energy, then some of the ions will recombine, or some of the electrons are so fast that they only excite atoms and do not ionize
Fits perfectly to your food.
that's actually what 3D printing is about. To make parts that are customized, that fit perfectly to something, to your body, or to your dog, or to your horse, or you make system parts that you can integrate in big machinery. You can even think of printing cars in the aerospace, or in building planes. They are using at this moment 3D printing as well. So this is.
So first I will start with a little, very small lecture on what is a bridge and how can you make a strong one. And then we see how you do in practice. You get into the flex less. For example, you can make it thicker, but it's too heavy and too expensive. Imagine bridges are never really thick slabs of steel. A few, I think, yeah, tons of years ago, they already thought of how do you.
Now the advantage, please look, because this is more a customer presentation, but this is what you can do.
Yeah, basically the same kind of. The identification is supposed to tell you about which part it is. Like, is it a leak? Is it an onion? And the qualify is to give information about how much is it the same as previous parts of the same.
It's still trying to find its goal.
And on the other side, it can be also control the position of the target of the sample that you place in. Here is one of the entrances of the laser. The laser will be somewhere here, so it has to be guided and it's coming into the plasma.
For example, what you can do is putting GPS sensors, temperature sensors, and so on. So you can also monitor that only based on the pill. And all the communication is done via your mobile phone or other application with your doctor or person who's doing the experiment.
The doctor who gets the information?
Yes.
From the ground up, on the foundations of the past, and elaborate your strength and work on your weaknesses. But anyway, when Fortune magazine says, well, Eindhoven could well be the next Silicon Valley, that's of course amazing. What you see happening when these outlets write about us, about the region, is we see the number of followers on Twitter rise. Investors from the valley starting to follow us, to have a look at what's going on. We see the number of hits on our website internationally rise. So this really contributes to positioning this region as one of the hotspots next to Cairo and other hotspots that you should be in contact with when you're working in international research and development to business.
Mathematical or physical formula associated with that. Yeah. And the distances between these interferences, between these black holes, is kind of related in some way to the speed of sound. Yeah. So what we could do is a small experiment, do some measuring, and see if it indeed matches the speed of sound. Okay. Shall we do that?
Explanation of something, and the teacher realizes half the class knows what's going on. That half goes here, does their exercises on their own. The other half gets special attention from the teacher. And then at the end of the class, they all come back and they decide what exercises that have to be done for the next lesson.
Teachers, we had this challenge more or less. They gave us $10, Canadian dollars, and we had to buy some equipment or just standard materials. And
straight line relative to the time axis, what you end up getting is something that has to curve upwards like that. See how that's sort of curving upwards?
The difference of pressure results in a net force, so the fluid accelerates. And so we can see that at low pressure the fluid has higher velocity than in high pressure. And this actually works, is the way that airplane works.
Like negative charge, and right now we need to think about what's going to happen. Yeah, it's nice, isn't it? So, yeah, so generally the mechanism is that we charge by induction this